It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna marry you.
Hey, what's going on? Well, in this particular video, I wanted to talk about wedding shows, and since we are in the wedding show season, I just thought it'd be appropriate. And this has also been a video that I've wanted to do for a while. And I've been reading a lot on the DJ Ideas Sharing Facebook page. I've seen other videos, from other DJs talking about wedding shows, and I just wanted to add my 2 cents on that. Now, before we get to that, I want to just issue a little disclaimer that I always issue before most of my vlogs, and that is that the information that I'm getting ready to give you is just information that has worked for me, okay? I'm not in any way saying this is what you need to do, that you need to change your ways or anything like that. I'm just telling you this is what's worked for me, and this is what I've observed, and hopefully you can take a nugget or two out of it and apply it to your DJ service, but I'm, again, in no way saying that this is what you have to do in order to make it work out. And if you have some ideas, you want to share with me, just feel free to drop me a comment or drop me an email. My email address is right there on the screen. And yeah, I'd love to hear your ideas as well on the wedding shows and things that you've done as well. So anyway, now let's get to it, okay? First of all, like I said, we are in the wedding show season, and really the wedding show season is usually right after Christmas. Usually between, I would say New Year's and Valentine's Day is probably the peak of the wedding show season. That's when a lot of brides have just gotten engaged, and that's when a lot of them have their wedding shows. Now, there are others, throughout the year, but that's when the bulk of them usually happen. And every year I go to the Beautiful Beginnings Bridal Expo here in Pensacola, and it's the biggest one of the year. It's usually held the first Sunday of the new year, and we just did one just a couple weeks ago, as a matter of fact. And right now, I'm just going to show you just a quick clip of my booth at the Beautiful Beginnings Bridal Expo from a couple weeks ago. Set up. Let me show you my setup real quick. Right here's my booth. Got it all ready to go. And for the first time, we've actually got both banners out. I got one right here on the facade, and one right there. And these are just various pictures from different gigs. So. Okay, now you can go back on my playlist right here on my YouTube channel. Just look under the wedding shows and bridal shows playlist, and you can see the bridal shows that I've done and just kind of get some ideas, including the video from the one that you just saw, the complete video that I had taken a couple weeks ago. But now let me go ahead and start out with what you should not do, okay? So this is what you should not do when it comes to a wedding show. You don't want to try to pressure your brides to book right on the spot, right there at the show. Okay, maybe you're thinking, well, isn't that the point of a wedding show? Don't they need to go ahead and book? Well, yeah, you do want to get them to book as soon as possible, but you don't want to pressure them into booking at the wedding show. I've seen so many vendors who would make this mistake, and I think it's actually costing them business, including DJs, when they try to do this. And the thing is, over my almost 17 years of being a mobile DJ, I've tried to think like a bride does. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily like a DJ, although I do try to think like a DJ as well. But sometimes I try to put myself in the bride's shoes and think about that. Now let's think about this for a second, okay? Let's put this into a different perspective for us. Let's say that you're in a need for a new car, and you hear that there's going to be a big car show in your town, and they're going to have a huge parking lot full of cars to go and look and buy right there on the spot, and yeah, you're excited about that. So you go down there, and there are hundreds of other people there looking at the cars too, and people are all going in different directions and everything else. Well, you come upon this car that you like, and you're standing there talking to the guy, and he says, if you want this car, you're going to have to buy it today. You can't test drive it or anything, but you have to sign it right now and go ahead and buy it right now. As is. That's just the way it is. We don't have time to, for you to test drive it or anything, but, you're going to have to leave here today with that car. And you're thinking, wow, that's kind of a lot of pressure. I mean, I want to be able to, look under the hood and maybe take the car to a mechanic and test drive it and see if I like it or not. I mean, I don't even know if the thing even runs, and you probably wouldn't really react too well under that kind of pressure, would you? And think about that for a second. That's kind of the way our brides are when it comes to a wedding show. If it's a big enough wedding show, like the Beautiful Beginnings Bridal Expo that I did, and you got to think about this for a second, okay? Those brides are coming in there, they're visiting hundreds of other vendors, and their mind's going all over the place. I mean, they're seeing all these booths and everything. They're trying to, their mind's trying to really comprehend what's going on there. And like I said, it's just so fast-paced and everything else, and I don't want my brides, wanting to book right there on the spot, and feeling pressured like that. So here's what I do. I have a flyer there listed with a special. And my special that I normally run is usually good for up to a month after the wedding show. Okay, so what I normally do is I just ask them to sign my registry, and then I give them a flyer, and I tell them, okay, as long as I've got a record that you came by and visited my booth, I'll give you this special if if you decide to book by this certain date, which is usually, like I said, about a month after the show. And the reason for that is because I don't want to pressure them into booking right there on the spot, because like I said, they're going from booth to booth, they're getting all these flyers and everything, their mind's going all over the place. And really, at the wedding show, I don't really have a whole lot of time to really, do a full consultation with them, to find out about their wedding and things of that nature. So what I normally do, like I said, is I'll hand them a flyer, tell them to sign my registry, and then they've got like up to a month or so after the show to book. And usually, what I tell them at that point is that that's going to give them some time to look over the flyer, look at what we have to offer, and I'll send them a wedding packet through the email, and then they can talk it over with mom, dad, fiance, and then we can schedule a consultation at Starbucks, and that way I can talk to them more about their wedding and what they're looking for, in a more intimate environment where I've actually got more time to really talk to them. And you know what? I've had so many brides tell me that they really like that more than anything. And, I'm actually one of the few vendors that do that. I've had so many brides come by my table and say, you know what, we were so glad you're not pressuring us into booking today, because we're just overwhelmed with everything that's going on here. So that's what I do, and that's what's really worked out for me. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to get them to book right there on the spot. Now, there may be a bride or two that may want to go ahead and book on the spot, if they just like everything that they see, and that's fine if they want to do that, but I wouldn't try to pressure them and say that you have to book on the spot. And I think the very first wedding show I ever did back in 2012, and you can see that video on my playlist for the bridal shows. I think I offered a free uplighting package or something like that, I believe, if they booked like a week later or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but I really didn't get too many bookings from that. And then I started offering I don't know, like a certain percentage off of my wedding packages. And then I started thinking about that for a second. I thought, well, I don't know if that's really necessarily a good idea. But then last year, I came up with a good idea that has really worked, and I think it's been my best idea yet. What I've done is I've got 4 wedding packages to choose from. But what I've done is I've taken the best elements out of all 4 of them, and I created just a special package just for the bridal show attendees. And I put that on a flyer, listing what all that package includes. Like I said, I just took the best elements out of all 4 packages, put it into a special package for the bridal show, and then I tell them that they have a certain date to book, and that's how that works. And that's really worked out best for me. But I also put on a flyer, that I do have 4 regular wedding packages. If they'd like to check that out, they can go to my website. And they can do that if they wanted to do another package, but that's really worked out best for me, and I think that that really helps out too. So yeah, don't ever try to pressure them into booking right there on the spot. Give them time to look everything over and talk it over with mom, dad, and fiance, and maybe schedule a consultation with you, and then you can spend a little bit more time talking to them and finding out what they're looking for, and they can get to know a little bit more about what you have to offer at that point. So that's my recommendation on that. Now there are some exceptions. I think Brian S. Red, good friend Brian, he did a video just a couple weeks ago on a wedding show that he did, and I think he said that he may have had like maybe a dozen brides come by. Apparently his wedding show was pretty small. Now if you got a little intimate event like that, where there's not that many vendors or something like that, you got a lot of time to spend with brides, then yeah, you could probably go ahead and do a full consultation with them right there on site and go ahead and get them to book. But like I said, if you got these big shows like the Beautiful Beginnings Bridal Expo, those brides are just really just basically have time just to walk by and get a flyer and get a business card and a giveaway or whatever you have, and they're going to be on their way to the next booth, and they really don't have a whole lot of time to talk to you. So that's why I say don't try to pressure them into booking on the spot. So anyway, if you'd like to find out more about this, or you'd like to see more about what I do at wedding shows, again, just go check out my playlist here on my YouTube channel under the bridal shows, and you can see what all I do. And I usually have some type of giveaway that I give them. Usually it's like a little a souvenir with some candy in it and a business card and that kind of thing. And that's always worked out well too. So you want to make sure that you stand out and that they'll remember you. So anyway, if you have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to drop me an email. My email address is right there on the screen, or send me a private message on Facebook. You can look me up there, and or leave a comment right here on the video. I always like to see those comments as well. So until next time, practice and enjoy.